Hey guys, and welcome to my next review. I left that small warning about seizures, and I don't think there's anything in this video that you need to worry about, but if they took the time to leave that warning at the beginning of the game, I'm going to leave it in the video. So this is Layers of Fear. This is, geez, I have not been keeping track of what this is in my attempt to clear out my backlog here. But I want to say it's like the 5th or 6th game on the list. I'll do full disclosure, I got this with a review code that I got from a third-party PR firm. I don't know anybody over at Bloober Team or the publisher. I want to say that's pronounced Aspire. So that's where my bias lies. I didn't pay for the game. I can feel whatever I want to feel about it. There is a bit of story that's going to pop up here, so I'm going to be quiet and let this play.
I know how you must feel. Lost. Alone. Hopeless. You probably deserve it. But even for you, there is still a way. A way to bring it all back. The one precious thing you ever truly desired. Finish it.
Every portrait that's painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. Picture of Dorian Gray. Decent novel, regardless of how you feel about Oscar Wilde. So, what is Layers of Fear? Layers of Fear is a first-person horror adventure game. I guess some might call it a walking simulator. That came out back in February of this year. It came out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, so regardless of what your preferred platform is, you can pick up Layers of Fear. I'm not sure about the prices on PSN or the Xbox Live Marketplace, but I know on Steam it is going for $20 US. Conversion makes it cost $22 Canadian for me. The summer sale is going on as I'm recording this video. May not be while you're watching it, but for statistical reference, it is 50% off in the summer sale, so you can get it for $10 US, 11 Canadian. And it is a very narrative-driven game, I'd say. You play as this painter who's he's on his last legs and he's trying to complete his masterpiece. It's a Victorian-era setting, so you explore this big, fancy Victorian mansion here, complete with rat infestation that apparently the artist is told does not exist. There is a vast use of impossible space. If you ever play like Antechamber, it's definitely in that kind of boat of the house is not as it seems. You kind of explore this house, you have to solve puzzles and acquire these MacGuffins to finish this artist's painting. You see there's some really nice paintings on his wall here. Excellent use of atmosphere, setting up the house, design work. There's 6 chapters, 6 different MacGuffins that you're looking to grab, and you solve the odd puzzles, you go through the mansion doing it. There's a bunch of optional side stuff you can find, like family heirlooms and stuff that expand on the game's backstory, the game's setting, the game's characters. But none of it's necessary. As far as I can tell, it leads to different or slightly different endings. There's no combat in the game. It's not an Amnesia, Layers of Fear like hybrid thing. There's no monster chasing you. There's just these creepy paintings on the wall. And jump scares and puzzles. You hear like the broken glass as I step over it on the chair there to like start to, get you all tense. But it's just your own fault. I think if you take a wider turn there, you don't get any broken glass. And there's the odd like creepy note lying around on the desk here, like this one right here. Some illustrations of Little Red Riding Hood that start to get pretty gruesome. But very much in line with what the Brothers Grimm imagined. Is the Little Red Riding Hood a Brothers Grimm fairy tale? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I played through the game for, I don't know, I have to look at my Steam record here, but I think it's been a couple hours. I did not finish the game. If you check on how long to beat, it says it takes like 3 to 4 hours to beat, so if you're one of those people who has to get an X hour playtime per dollar value, there's your numbers to figure that out for your own personal preference. I thought the game had a great horror aesthetic. You're not going to see it yet. Maybe I'll cut the video. I'm doing post-commentary, and then I'll do some video editing work after, so maybe I'm going to cut the video after we see the painting downstairs, once I finally go back downstairs instead of screwing around in the bedroom here. But there's a great horror aesthetic in here. I did not record my audio alongside the video because I knew I would get way too distracted by how scared I was getting. So I ended up scrapping the audio that I was recording while I was playing this. And because I couldn't keep a decent train of thought. I was genuinely frightened. And I think I was recording this at like 10 or 11 in the morning with like lights on. I don't even think I had the headphones on all the way, and I was getting scared. So maybe that says more about me than the game, but I thought it did a great job of setting a really frightening atmosphere. It did a great job with aesthetics. Like I said, those paintings outside, a lot of them look pretty creepy, but they all look really good, which I would imagine an artist would have really good looking paintings. They do a great job of, I want to say, characterizing the house and just filling it with things for you to look at and like admire. I don't even know if I'll leave it in the video here, but there is a part where I go into the kitchen near the end of the video and it starts to get real spooky. But right before that, I'm just admiring how much stuff they've put in this kitchen. They did a great job decorating the house. Here you see the artist's room, the painting. I think I take my time and inspect everything outside of the painting first, because I was worried that I'm checking my reflection. I was worried that like checking the painting would just jump progress forwards in the game. But yeah, there's no combat. You definitely feel that tense like fear of as if you were being chased by a monster that you get in like Amnesia or games similar to it, but there is no monster. It's just a spooky house. And that I think it comes a lot from the impossible space. Like, you'll see it once we start getting out of here. As soon as I stop wasting time and looking at the artist's beer bottles. Any good artist is an alcoholic, apparently. I think that trunk is also full of alcohol. Oh no, that's the paintbrush trunk. That's arguably more important trunk. Yeah, I'll finish it. Okay. Any second now. We're going to get the big reveal on the painting. And here we go. Boom. Not finished at all. Okay, so I think you'll see once I leave the room here that there is... Oh yeah, and they've started adding letters. Writing shows up on the wall, very, very frightening writing sometimes. And you see that this is now no longer how we got in here. So the impossible space starts happening right away, and I think the fact that they start with the house using impossible space is what really sets the like horror up really well the first time, and then they start to mess with other things gradually, and they do a great job of catching your eye with all these paintings and things you look at, and then you notice something else, you go look at that, and boom, jump scare, window gets you. So you can play it with keyboard or mouse or controller. I'm playing with keyboard and mouse here in this video. I did try and play with the controller at first, just for audio recording issues, but I had some issues with, regardless of how low my settings or the sensitivity. Here's one of those like optional pickups. You can't see it because I don't record my Steam overlay, but I got an achievement for picking that up. But control-wise, I had some issues with controller where the camera on the controller was not cooperating, no matter how low my sensitivity is. I was trying to focus on the Little Red Riding Hood pictures earlier, and I just could not center the camera on it. I think this is our first puzzle room here. Yeah, this is the first puzzle room. I think I'm gonna like screw around looking at a bunch of other pointless stuff first. But I stuck with keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse worked fine. There were no issues with like it had the sensitivity my settings said it had there, so I don't know what my issue was there. You might have noticed the music is actually really good. They do a great job on the music and lighting to really set mood and set the atmosphere and set the tension. Here's our first puzzle. We need to figure out our combo for this lock. Look around in these paintings. We notice we can light these candles and boom, those paintings start bleeding and now have numbers, and there's your combo. So the puzzles, none of the puzzles are that challenging. You're not going to get into a position where you are quitting because you're frustrated, you can't solve a puzzle. I've heard that there were some bugs that if you were trying to do something, sometimes the progress wouldn't be possible. Like, for instance, I imagine it would be something like, in this instance, you would go there and either light the candles and the paintings would not start bleeding, or you would not be able to light the candles, or what. Here we're getting a bit on the artist. That's a great pickup line. That's a great line for and there's a new door. But you're not gonna none of those puzzles are super challenging. That's really the extent of it's. I compared it to Antechamber earlier when bringing up the impossible space, but the puzzles in Antechamber were way harder than the puzzles in Layers of Fear. You're not gonna get stuck and be like, oh god, I can't progress. If you're quitting because you can't keep playing, it's not because of difficulty of the puzzle. It's definitely because you're too much of a coward to keep going, which I think is exactly what you want in a horror game. So it does that in spades. There are multiple endings. I don't know how many. There might just be 2 endings. One for getting all the heirlooms and one for not. Check out that creepy thing and then it drops. Like I said, they do a great job of catching your eye and pulling you to progress. So great level design, great job with lighting, great job with the music, and you just turn around and boom, it's there. You turn the light on, the first thing you're going to do is turn to look at the room, and then they get you with the paintings. So they've done a great job of making a great horror game here. I think if you were checking on how long to beat, I don't know how many endings there are, but How Long to Beat claims that you can do everything in 7 hours, and since it also says I playthrough takes 3 to 4 hours, I imagine there's only 2 endings. Maybe 3, and that's just considering the fact that you can kind of speedrun the game once you understand what you're doing. But it is a great game to play, in the middle of the night. You're looking for something to just get your blood pumping, and you want to turn the lights out, get comfy, and then immediately stop being comfortable because it's a spooky game. I think it came out to pretty great acclaim during its release back in February. I think a lot of people were playing it because it's kind of one of those games that you play through on your channel because people want to see the reaction. They want to see you get scared. I'm not going to be doing that. I could barely. I'm having troubles watching my footage of me playing through it earlier, so the odds that I'm gonna be able to play through the whole thing without, pissing myself, pretty low. But I think that just goes to show that if you're looking for a horror game, it's gonna fill basically anything you could want in a horror game. It was a little weird that it came out back in February. I would think this kind of thing would come out in October. Oh, there's a rat running away. But if you're looking for something to play, now it's out. Now you can get it. And I can see it having a little bit of resurgence every at the end of the year, because this is definitely. I think I remember making this game making small waves. I remember this being a popular game. So the fact that I actually enjoyed my 18 minutes of trying not to scream here, I think is a testament to its success. It's successful for a reason. So I'm not surprised to find myself enjoying it when I played through it. Especially since the horror games are not really my thing. But I sat down and I said, okay, as long as I come away from this scared, it's a good horror game. And man, was I spooked. So it's definitely a good horror game. If you're looking for something that you're gonna, be chased from by Slender Man or something, no, that's not happening. Which I think is a really good thing. I think if you're gonna make a horror game, atmosphere should be your forefront focus. the use of impossible space, the great use of lighting you can kind of see here in the cellar. And this, it looks better if your computer is better. I turned this down, I turned a bunch of the settings and stuff down. I scaled the resolution down because I was trying to record. So I wanted to make sure that it would record at a steady frame rate and stuff, and the game wouldn't just like crash. So it can look better than this, and I think just looking back at my video now, this actually looks really good for saying this is on like low settings, on a low resolution, and like they do a great job of lighting. I feel like I'm just repeating myself here because like there really isn't a whole lot to the game outside of simple puzzles to keep you playing and not driving you away, and a great atmosphere to keep you hooked, keep the tension up, keep you scared, and then effective jump scares. I mean, if you're the kind of guy that's against jump scares, you're probably not gonna like Layers of Fear, because that's easily 90% of the horror here. Like, there's a little bit of the like the psychological aspect once you start to get into what's going on with the painter, with his ex, with his psyche. He's starting to lose it clearly, just from what you can see on screen now. He's not mentally all there, but there's a decent narrative here. There's decent characters, a great setting, great job with level design. Easily one of my favorite horror games ever. And I mean, I say I don't like the genre, but I've played quite a few, and this is definitely up there as far as ones I've enjoyed a lot. So here we've got our first MacGuffin,
I looked for a canvas,
and we start to really see that this painter is not all there mentally.
not one of those bread ones.
Whether this is his flesh, someone else's flesh,
A razor, in fact, and then
whose
carefully
skin.
flayed the skin.
I'm not gonna spoil that,
Help
but
keep
you
my
know,
hand steady.
you can interpret that how you want right now. I think there's only like a minute left here, so I'm gonna let this play. You can see me return the MacGuffin to the painting. Right here's the painting room. So that's the extent of the first chapter. That took about 20 minutes. So the chapters do start to get a little longer as you progress. Again, game takes about 3 to 4 hours. You can get it for $10 in sale, 20 otherwise. Yeah, that's Layers of Fear. If you're looking for a sweet horror game with flayed flamingos, check it out. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.